We good with the hose?
Yeah.
Ryan says it's good with the hose.
Need a hose for this.
I don't want to melt in there, bro. Well, you and I got a marine layer on us now.
Sit down.
We're like a couple of seals.
Just appreciate all you guys. I know it's hot. I know we didn't geographically pick places that were nice and comfortable and cozy, but we'll have a lot of fun like we did last year, and it'll be worth it. We're going to have a good time.
I just want to apologize to everybody again, the new guys. I will hit you, so I'm apologizing now.
And now for Dinner with Racers with your hosts, Ryan Eversley and Sean Heckman.
Placeholder radio sound. I'm a driver and I'm very angry. The sound of a driver on the radio during a race.
I want to get on the PT plan. This is all right. Yeah.
Well, I did just put an hour and a half in the gym, so.
Well, according to the edit, it was about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is normal. We're getting in the pool after a couple hours of working out.
Well, you guys are going to have to come by tonight, because usually Lisa and I go in the hot tub and have a bottle of wine, and I've got like a whole laser show that I got going on.
At what point do you guys as a family realize that this is going to be his career? Like, he is absolutely talented enough and has the passion and the drive to make this a full-time career?
By the time he was 10.
I think his father thought that right from the beginning.
Okay.
I think my father thought that since before he was born.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he'd been planning this from before the birth.
He was going to have a son that was going to be a sports star.
Yeah.
Race car driver.
Specific. Yeah.
Okay. You identify something that I find interesting, which is Paul in his teenage years, where a normal teenager is using this as their chance to go out and have fun and party and date and do all the things that teenagers do. This was not the case for Paul because he was racing all the time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I remember that, yeah.
Do you feel like he missed out on anything with his teenage years being so kind of framed by racing?
Yeah, I think he did, for sure.
Was there a point in your go-kart days where you realized this was going from something fun you were doing with your dad to this is going to be my career?
I mean, I really didn't have any say in it.
So this was dad?
Yeah, it was my dad that said, okay, well now we're going from 100cc go-karts racing around the world and racing in world championship events.
Right.
Then okay, as soon as you're old enough to race a Formula Ford, we're going to go Formula Ford racing.
But the thing I'm hearing is that there was no excited 11-year-old who wanted to go to Formula One and wanted to advance as much as Tony Tracy saying, all right, well, we're going Formula Fords next.
Yeah.
I need you to defend this.
Defend it?
Yeah, sell me this.
They're our kids, Lisa and I's kids. When we started dating, a year into our relationship, we decided to get a dog. We're too old now to have kids.
If I saw this picture with children, I'd think it was weird.
Yeah. Well, this was a Christmas present from Lisa.
Oh, I like it now.
Last year.
Well, now I like it. Lisa made us dinner, so.
So how would you say Paul's relationship with Lisa has changed Paul?
He's nicer.
He's nice,
I guess.
I think a little bit, yeah.
So Rich, how did you guys first meet? How did you and Paul first meet?
My wife and I were sitting at the W, and Cruella de Vil and a Dalmatian walked by.
What?
And that would be Paul Paul with his hair dotted up. I go, babe, I think these might be our people.
Halloween,
yeah. I have a leash on, and she's got the leash and the collar.
Yeah, nice.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, no, it's a perfect thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
so who knew Paul before Lisa? Is that the kind of thing that would have happened pre-Lisa?
No.
Okay. Do you think there's any making up for lost time from when he was a kid that he couldn't do any of the fun stuff that other
I would hope
young
so.
people do? Yeah.
I would hope
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I would hope so.
How did this start? How did you guys meet?
I had been recently divorced. I was single for 6 months.
And you lived out here in Phoenix?
Yeah, I lived literally 2 miles away.
Okay.
I finally had Facebook. I'd never had social media.
Right.
And so all of a sudden you get all these whatever messages and...
Because you're just a girl that's local.
I'm a girl. Just a girl.
A really hot,
yeah,
really
a girl.
hot,
Just
a
like
really
one
hot
thing,
woman.
like one thing
That's it.
necessary. Yeah.
That's
a
it.
really hot woman that's new to Facebook.
No,
just so
I
you
don't-
can imagine what the guys do.
And you'd already gone through the roster, so you knew this was like a new person on there.
Probably. Like they probably said like ding, ding, ding.
goes,
There's a new
This
guy.
is what we call an injured gazelle.
Injured gazelle.
Did you have friends in common that Facebook?
None.
We had no
Zero.
friends.
Zero. But
We were talking back and forth, talking just about family and whatever. I honestly knew nothing about racing and
yeah. I mean, we
any of
talked
that.
for a month before we went on a date.
Yeah.
But if you go onto a dating app, like you're signing up to be on a dating app.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but
You
Facebook
literally
is
sent
more,
a Facebook direct message to just a hot girl that was local.
hey, I saw you live whatever.
I don't even remember what I said. Just
But a random guy DM'd you on Facebook.
Okay,
I think she accepted my friend request.
There are hundreds.
That's not unusual.
That's not unusual. For
No,
you.
hundreds of messages that are coming in all the time.
We
like
call them creeps.
creeps.
Yeah. But you had pressure from your daughter
My daughter.
to get out because
Well,
she
okay,
wanted the house to herself.
I probably, but I
Yeah.
think they just didn't want to see me just be too comfortable being single. So I think they were just like, you got to get out.
Yeah.
And so he was my first date, and
From Facebook DMs.
yes,
Yes. Okay.
and everyone was really worried, like, who's this creep gonna be?
Yeah. The guy that direct messaged you on Facebook. Yeah.
You gave him your address?
Ooh.
You crazy? You
But
can't
that-
do
wait,
that.
well, no,
you meet
hold on.
you meet
That's
at a
real
mutual
thing.
location.
Okay, your first interaction was you gave him your home address?
No, we talked back and forth, but when I finally agreed to the date, he said,
He's going to pick
where
you
can
up.
I pick you up? And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is my address. And then I
That's
said,
how this ends.
I said, we're gonna. I told my friends, I'm like, yeah, I'm finally going on a date. I guess I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Well, wait, how did you you gave him your address?
I guess I'm gonna get
He
it
could be a
adopted.
crazy person,
Yeah.
Lisa. You don't know.
Yeah.
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 She lived on a golf course in a gated community. The first time I picked her up, the guy who worked at the guard gate,
Son of a bitch.
I pulled up, and he's like, "Who are you going to see?" I said, "Lisa Heskin." And he's like, "Are you Paul Tracy?" I'm like,
Really?
I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. I've been watching you since I was a kid."
Huh. Okay. So you had somebody in your favor. Okay.
I had a free pass to go in and
Yeah,
out of the
right.
gate
Like,
anytime
come on
I want.
in.
Yeah.
Kidnap people.
How well did you get to know Lisa, his wife?
Which, the first Lisa?
Yeah, first Lisa.
Yeah, I knew her. She seemed okay to me, but then it was sad what happened to her.
Right.
Yeah.
You did have a wife in one phase of your career who struggled with the intensity
Yeah.
of your racing, and that led to becoming addicted.
Yeah.
Eventually, she succumbed to that addiction.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sad time. You know, like I started dating a girl when I was with Penske in 96, and super fun girl, super outgoing girl.
What was her name?
Her name was Lisa as well, ironically, and she was very, very much like Lisa, personality-wise, very outgoing, very fun, very, very supportive of me, had my back all the time. You know, if anything happened, she was the first person that would have my back.
So
on
she'd get
something.
into fights for you.
She would,
Okay.
and Lisa would as well. So,
Yeah.
but when I was racing, she was just an absolute wreck of nervousness, and that led to taking things to calm down, and that led to taking more. And I was in a period in my career at that point when things were not going very well for me racing. I was, 96, I didn't have a good year, didn't win a race. 97, I had a good year, and then ended up getting fired over, at Penske, and then 90,
and all this you were with Lisa.
Yeah,
during all
and
of
then
this.
98 was another bad year. I had a bad year my first year at Team Cool Green, so I wasn't paying attention to what was going on over here. I was focused on this, like how am I going to get my career in order?
But her addiction is just
yeah,
growing.
it kept going and going until it got out of control, and I had to send her to rehab a couple times, and it just wasn't stopping. And at some point in '99, after Greg died, it was really hard on her as well, because Greg and I were really close, and Greg would come over and be in my motorhome. We'd be playing video games, and just things got way out of control. And I just, at some point, you can't. I can't stop her from doing this. She's got to want to stop herself, and I can't enable her, and I can't have a full-time babysitter. And at some point, I had to make a decision. Look, if you don't stop and do this, then I have to walk away. And I did walk away, and she just spiraled out of control even worse, and ended up dying of an overdose.
Yeah. How much does that guilt still play?
It does. I was going through racing, and you suppress a lot of that stuff. Like when you're racing, you got these blinders on.
It's a selfish sport.
Yeah, and everything else gets pushed to the side.
Yeah.
And so it was a long time until I felt a lot of guilt about that situation. It was after my racing career was over that it really kind of hit me.
Had to conquer it.
That I.
Time to actually reflect on
Yeah,
it.
I had to reflect back on it, because while you're in racing and everything's going on, everything else gets like suppressed and below the surface,
She clearly needed an attention from you that you couldn't give. You say yourself that she's very similar to Lisa, whom you're with now, and maybe previous relationships or relationships in between were not. Do you think there's been some hesitation to be with somebody that like Lisa is today?
Lisa and my ex Lisa, their personalities, or they're fun personalities. They're fun, and they're family orientated.
But could that make you fearful of that kind of, because you saw what happened before?
No, because I know that Lisa doesn't have any type of those.
Yeah,
sure.
What are some of the character traits you describe Paul as?
From my friendship with Paul, I get to see a side that I think a lot of people don't see. The dude's one of the kindest, gentlest guys I've ever met.
Would you expect that if you read his Instagram?
Oh my God, never.
Are you on any social media?
Yeah, I go on Facebook and Instagram. I don't actually post a lot of stuff. I'm just a lurker.
Would you see posts and go, "Oh, what are you doing?"
No, not really. No, just.
Sometimes I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So when you say Paul's different publicly than he is personally, how's that?
Turn away.
Good. Yeah, more of that.
She gets this.
Yeah.
Paul privately is he's a good dude. He's all heart. He is, I wouldn't call him sensitive, but he cares what people think, and he wants to be a pleaser. Publicly, he's the exact opposite. Exact opposite.
I guess it's the helmet off, helmet on version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So whereas you've told us in the past that when you put your helmet on, you were just balls out,
An animal.
and when you take the helmet off, you were just normal dude.
Yeah.
So now, like with social media, that's your driver persona coming out?
I guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, like antagonistic comments and things like that.
Guilty laugh. Immediately guilty laugh.
No, let's call this
So
out. Let's call it out for what it is.
Yeah.
Like
Get to it.
And you can disagree, but you're wrong. You like to stir up on social media. It seems fun for you.
I like the things that I say. People assume that I, only see things one way, but I poke fun at both sides of things, and just people take everything so seriously. It's so stupid.
Well, I feel like you have to have big balls to not be willing to be disliked.
Right.
And most people just aren't willing to do that, and they don't have zero interest in any kind of, like, they just want to just go with the flow. He is the exact opposite. He runs to,
Do you find he's more motivated when he's combative?
Yes.
There it is. Yeah.
And I that does slightly scare me.
Right. You met after his driving days, but I mean, you'd be the first person to tell us that there are guys you get along with. Sebastian is a perfect example. Guys that you get along with today that you intentionally hated at the time because it was the way you got the most out of yourself.
Yeah, I needed a rivalry.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I needed somebody to hate, somebody to motivate myself off of.
So translating that to today, you don't have that now.
Yeah.
I mean, you got SRX, cool, but like you are waking up to work out because you just sort of want to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And you've got a very routine deal right now. So is the social media just a way to just get into that comfort zone of being uncomfortable?
I don't know.
Is it a relevancy thing?
I remember my grandfather was always really, really, I always heard stories. He used to have these big, huge hands, and like the palms of his hands were like almost looked like leather. Like they were
Right.
just so shiny and just so, and I was like, why are his hands like that? And they're like, because he's been slapping everybody for his whole life.
Yeah, and he was famous for starting arguments with people, right? That was his
Paul's
pleasure.
grandfather
Yes,
was
that
famous for starting arguments
That
with
was
people.
his joy in life. He would say some outrageous thing,
Wait.
and so
You're
you
saying
would,
Paul
so if-
Tracy's grandfather liked to start arguments with people.
Yeah.
Yes,
By
that-
saying something outrageous.
He would say something that was a total outrageous lie, just so that you would start to argue with him. So he could start.
So we could debate.
We're good
yeah.
here.
So
Thank you.
yeah. You call it a debate now. Oh.
Oh, Tracy's like, that's adorable.
How is Tony with that?
I think
Well,
my
he's-
dad's exactly the same.
He's
he is.
Yeah.
It's going the same way, right?
So what you're telling us is it's not uncommon for the men in the Tracy family.
Start arguments.
Just to see if they can get a rise out of people.
Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
yeah, precisely, yeah.
Sean and I were considering coming to Toronto, and we were like, I don't know if we'll have the time, but we did, and immediately you're letting us in on the secret to Paul Tracy's social media is that he was born this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Relate to that, Paul?
Well, I got a question for you. Something that I noticed is that you're wearing those super bright green Louis Vuitton, those sexy shoes. Are you signaling that Pagano is your pick? Because they match his car. What's up with that?
Paul has a foot fetish, if anybody doesn't know this.
Let's talk about it.
So I didn't know who Paul was. I just knew that Joey was close to Paul. So I was like, I don't have time. And Joey said, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to see your feet. This is Paul. What the happened to your toes? Oh my God. And I was mortified.
She literally stuck her toes in the sand.
Literally after that. So now I get pedicures 3 times a week.
So your guy is right here,
Yes.
but yet you get pedicures 3 times a week because of that one.
Yes.
Okay. So real quick. So show of hands, ladies. How many are you now more conscious of your feet because of Paul?
Oh my God. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I have a shoe fetish.
That's been
documented.
Noted.
Sir.
Yeah, it's been noted. Yeah.
By who?
You don't recall anything about you and shoes and women?
Yeah, with Danica.
Yeah, Lisa got it right away.
Yeah. That was a setup. People don't know that was a setup between Danica and I on air for her to plug her shoe sponsor for the 500.
Okay.
And then I got all kinds of grief over it.
Yeah.
You know? And I even got grief from Human Resources over it.
At NBC?
Yes. 100%.
Marco might be going with Brian Herta next year, and the Andretti team will let Brian Herta take us because Marco definitely needs a change. You think there's anywhere else he can go, PT?
Well, I don't know if there's anywhere else he can go. The only other ride I could see him getting is maybe with Uber. Ooh. Oh, man.
I admire him, though, for having the balls to be willing to be disliked. And I remember telling him, if you want to, you got to tone it down, tone it way down, not saying, it. I'm not going to do it if I have to do that. I don't want to be that person. I'd rather just not do it.
I'd rather be 100% authentic in myself than try to pretend to be something I'm not. Ultimately, NBC, when I was working for them, they hired me because they wanted me to be myself. When they hired me, the only thing that they said to me was, don't drop an F-bomb on air. Don't swear on air. But we want you to call things the way you see it. We want you to say controversial things. If you think a driver, did something wrong and Townsend disagrees with you, great. After a while, it wasn't what they wanted anymore. And that's who I am. That's what you're going to get.
When you signed on with NBC, your first time, you were told, be you, go ahead and incite controversy, say what you're feeling, and, a little bit of attention towards saying something controversial is a good thing. And you've indicated to us that you almost feel like you're sort of died by that same sword.
Well, the world has changed,
right.
What you could say and do 8 years ago is not what you can say and do in this day and age.
What do you mean?
Things have changed a lot. you can't say this, you can't say that, but people have gotten overly sensitive.
Well, but let me challenge you on that, because I would argue that I don't think it has changed on being controversial on the air, but maybe the controversy came off the air.
True.
Like if you had said something like you once said, Marco Andretti's next ride will be with Uber. And I think if you had continued to say that, I don't think anybody at NBC would have a problem with that. But it is the things outside of the track that was probably getting you the most trouble. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever said anything on live air that I could say was over the line.
Right. To that point, controversy, I think when it came to IndyCar racing was probably fine. So I don't know that you were too controversial for talking about racing. It was just all the other stuff, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
that's who I am.
Yeah.
I've turned into my dad, even though I've tried as hard as I could to not.
Who won the 2002 Indy 500?
Paul Tracy.
Oh, wow. Big fan. Okay. Helio's around here somewhere, right?
You mean 4-time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't know him that well.
Yeah.
But he's starting on the outside of you, and he's got a reputation. How do you feel about that?
It's going to be fun racing with him. Hopefully we can door each other a couple times and make it a good show, but it'll be fun.
I heard he apologized already in the driver's meeting.
Yeah. He I think that was a good move on his part. I'm not sure how long it'll go.
Not surprising?
Not surprising.
So you want to door him?
I want to door him one time just to get in his head right there at the beginning of the start. See, he thinks I'm going to play nice because he don't know me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to door him right there on the start.
You don't give a
I don't give a shit.
That's my guy.
I'm here with him.
So you're like the Paul Tracy of SRX?
That's right.
So you think SRX is part of the NBC thing?
The SRX series was pitched to NBC first to pick it up, and they looked at it and they said, I don't think it's going to work. It's not going to go anywhere. And they passed on it. And then Tony and Ray got CBS to bite on it, and they committed to a 3-year deal with it. So it came time. It was contract time, and I already knew because NBC had told Brad Doherty,
Mhm.
you know, you can't do SRX and work for us, you know. And he said, okay, that's fine. You're gonna have to pay me more, and they paid him. So my contract came up, and they said, hey, you can't do SRX, and I said, okay, that's fine. I said, then you're gonna have to pay me more, and I got a flat no. They're like, no.
So you had the opportunity to re-sign, but you asked for more, and they said no.
I didn't ask for more. I just said, hey, they pay me X amount of dollars for
SRX,
for this at
for
SRX.
CBS,
And if they would have paid me more, I would have had to make a tough decision to do that, because I really enjoyed racing again. You know, like I didn't realize how much I missed racing until I got into those races. And ultimately, my decision was going to be that I want to go racing, because I've only got so much time left to go racing.
Right.
You know, and I liked doing the TV. I enjoyed doing the TV. There was a lot of it that was mundane, and like these production meetings and sitting around, and like Wednesday
The prep
production
stuff that makes it
meetings
happen. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That stuff sucks. The editing, who cares? Yeah.
How many times are we going to talk about stuff that's not even going to happen? You know, and try to make up storylines of who we're going to talk about, and that kind of stuff can be. I mean, that's the job part of it, but
the adult part.
Yeah. But I mean, I enjoyed it, but I mean, it wasn't like I was super like I didn't like. That's not my passion.
So which came first, the lack of contract renewal with NBC, or the decision to continue with SRX?
I mean, it all kind of happened at the same time, you know. But ultimately, I knew there was going to be a decision have to be made.
Yeah, right.
You know.
When you're running out of luck, need to get unstuck, so golf. When you're up against the wall and you can't fall, so golf.
Okay, how's Paul Tracy going to do tonight?
I'm expecting top 5.
I think he's going to cause some heads to turn, but I think he's going to do pretty well.
I think he's going to do great until someone pays him back and spins him out.
I hope Bill Elliott puts it on the wall, honestly. I'm a big Chase Elliott fan.
Would it surprise you that he already apologized during the driver's meeting for wrecking other people?
No, actually,
Okay.
no. I'm not surprised by that at all.
And what year were you born?
I was born in 2002, the year Paul Tracy won the Indy 500.
Can we do a toast to Paul? Do a toast. Cheers. It didn't happen. It didn't go on the gram.
Cheers, everybody. Yeah, PG. Yeah,
Cheers.
All right.
We're spending several days with Paul, not knowing what we're going to get, but our whole purpose here is, you know Paul from the cars or social media. What would you want people watching this show to understand about Paul?
You know, for me, I think I would say I don't think people don't understand. I mean, they see Paul social media. That's what they see. That's Paul on social media.
You know, I think the biggest takeaway is that he is who he is. You can say what you want. You can observe from the outside, but once you get on the inside, I mean, the guy's the most genuine, heartfelt guy around.
There's a lot of guys that aren't doing it at his age, and there's a lot of guys that wish they could do it at his age, and Paul still has it, and I appreciate that. And my 27 years as your friend has been, you know, a lot of fun. So thank you.
What would you hope fans would get out of this?
I would just hope that people would know him like I would want my family to know him, that he's, you know, a wonderful person and he is ruthless, but he's also, you know, a wonderful, kind person who would never hurt a fly.
What would you hope they take away from this episode?
Just that he's more than just a race car driver. You know, he's more than just a race car driver, and he's more than just what he says on social media. You know, he's a lot more than that. So just that, you know.
Was Tony a love him or hate him kind of guy?
Yes.
Yes, I guess so.
People either walk to him or walk away from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What do I want people to get out of this? I guess I just want people to see a different side of me that they've never seen. They've never seen my home life or seen what it's like to be around me on a day-to-day basis. You know, you don't get, like you said, you don't get tons of access all the way in to race drivers or team owners because you have to go through the PR person. But I don't have a problem with showing what my life has been and where it's gone and the ups and the downs, and that's part of life.
If you could describe Paul Tracy in one word, what would it be?
Aggressive, selfish.
Hothead.
I don't know. I haven't been around him much, but he's a lunatic.
The word I would use is authentic. I think what you see is what you get with Paul.
Loyal. I would say solid.
Blunt. I was going to go with handsy, but
He's a friend. He's a good friend.
Crazy?
I was gonna say cocky.
Hold on.
I don't know. He just always has something sarcastic to say or something to rile things up, and yeah, so that's what I would say, yeah.
I would say uninhibited.
If you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Complicated.
Is he somebody that everybody has to like?
No, nobody has to like everybody, right? I don't like Helio.
What's your favorite Paul Tracy tattoo?
Can I say it?
Yes, you can.
A tramp stamp.
You got a tramp stamp?
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we get into the tramp stamp too before we're done. I don't want to forget.
So does everybody know about the tramp stamp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I've had my shirt off in front of everybody.
Okay.
And we were in the hot tub one night, naked.
Huh?
And
Now
we were
she's
laughing.
shy.
I was
Yeah.
like, what? Because I couldn't figure out, like, and he said, it used to say Lisa. It was his wife's name, Lisa, and he had it covered up with.
Yeah.
So it became a tramp stamp.
I'm like, dude, you should have just left it. My name's Lisa.
The way I found out about the tramp stamp is Paul stayed the night one night.
Yeah.
The story is not as good as you guys think, but we ended up, we had a little party at the house and stayed the night, and
Wait,
we
I
were
feel like
sleeping
it was
together.
as good as you think.
And it's better here than everybody thinks, but we're not going to go there. And we slept in the same bed, and when I rolled over, I didn't know the guy slept naked. So that's how I first saw the tramp stamp.
Yeah.
See this tramp
You
stamp?
guys want the tramp stamp?
Yeah, easy with the yeah. You just he'll take care of it.
Let Ryan handle this.
Yeah.
There we go.
You see that?
Hang on.
You see that?
We just found our tees.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So my brother's birthday was 2 days ago, and we were so busy shooting with you that I literally forgot.
Yeah.
And then I woke up yesterday morning like, oh, David's birthday. And I was like, all right, I'm definitely calling him today. And then I forgot because we were doing our thing yesterday.
We were talking about it on the way back from the track.
Yeah.
And then again forgot. You know.
Hey, David. This is Paul Tracy. I'm calling on behalf of your brother because he just told me that he's forgot to call you on your birthday, and he's trying to blame me for it, which is totally not the case. I didn't know it was your birthday, and I apologize that your brother's been preoccupied, but what a brother you have that doesn't call you on your birthday when he's working. So
We're on a road trip.